Good evening and welcome to another scene in London Ascending, a vampire venue. Tonight, Laura is just sitting around. She's she's actually on the move to a place that she normally hangs out. She's just coming in with her plus one, a man who's normally hangs around, and she's begun to make it known that she is normally hanging around here. If people want to speak with her for some reason, they can meet her there. Yeah, she will get to a table and sit down. Her ghoul, her plus one, will require her what looks to be a coffee cup, one of those plastic, fairly solid cups that can be reused. And she begins to sip that coffee cup, and sit there and read the papers.
Into this lovely little, what do you say, was it a lounge?
It's a lounge area.
It's a
description, yes.
Sort of Friends-esque coffee shop.
No, it's a bit more like business people, lawyers, come to discuss things. It's more than that than it is a friend's place.
No Chandler references tonight. Vincent, Mr. Hardcastle, indeed. Local librarian for the Tremere, and local resident of London for some time, many lifetimes. Has also stopped by this rather high-end location, having more than enough, would you say? Well, he's pretty high-end. He can get it himself. He's not actually wearing the top hat this evening. Sorry to not meet your expectations. He is, however, still has his walking cane with him, and walks into this lawyer's coffee shop.
There isn't too many people around. There is a couple, but you will see a guy sitting a little away, like 2 tables away, and you will see a woman who is 19 at the very most, 18, sure, but she looks, as is displayed on my overlay, quite young. I mean, she's wearing a business suit, like with a shirt and a business jacket, with a shirt under it, and she looks as though maybe she's trying a bit hard to be like grown up, maybe. But you will notice that she is somewhat pale, and she is sitting and reading the newspaper.
Vincent, on the other hand, is he's quite a bit older. He's in his probably say mid 30s, perhaps early 40s if he's aged well. Does also look like he's dressed for business from the late 18 to early 1900s. Wearing that kind of beige trench coat. There's this almost like what would have been like the proto pea coat underneath it. not actually a peacoat, but before they existed. And looks not so anachronistic as for it to be immediately noticeable, but you know, his fashion sense is slightly dated. You know, there are still people who do actually go around dressing up like this, believe it or not. But he does look somewhat slightly out of place in that gear. Also, quick out of character question: how long has Laura been in London?
She is. It's known that she's a person who has been allowed at least the last 50 years by the Queen to be operating in the city, but she hasn't really been making herself known in the city. However, lately it's quite clear that she's begun introducing herself properly. So, whatever the reason, who knows? But it's quite clear that she's been waiting a while. Maybe it's the war, maybe it's something else. But she has begun properly introducing herself now.
In which case, Vincent, who is also very well known, he's been in London for at least the past century. Quite a bit longer, in fact, but the specific time period of when he showed up, you lose track of these things as time goes on, and he walks straight up to Laura, perhaps recognizing her as a person of interest.
She will just jump to attention as soon as a person approaches. You can see that the guy is just looking at you, not like in a threatening manner, but he is just takes notice of you. And but she gets up and she curtsies and just, good evening. I do not believe we've met. Laura Solholm. And she will present a hand.
Does she present it to be shaken or kissed? Because that will influence Vincent's behavior.
To be kissed.
Yes. In which case, Vincent very gracefully and gentlemanlike, what to say? Vincent Hardcastle, an absolute pleasure, Miss Solholm.
You flatter me. Please, please sit down. We haven't met. Yes, so my name is Laura Solholm from Bodicine. I am fairly recently come into the city proper. I have spent quite some time building a presence in the city. I believe that I should be at least influential and somewhat useful to the city before I would officially announce my presence.
Most wise of you indeed, yes. Our local authorities do tend to prize excellence before introductions are made, shall we say.
Well, I would hope so. She smiles.
I myself have been in this city for quite some time, in fact, but unfortunately I don't think I've had the good fortune to have met some of our more recent guests. He smiles at you.
Yeah. You have at least met one new person now.
A man appears at the door. 41, 40 kind of looks. He's wearing a suit. The tie is loose. He has a jacket. He sees the Laura and the Vincent. Yeah, he has fame on camera. As they arrive in the chat, he is blah blah blah, whatever. And he slowly approaches to the group.
Dawn. Good evening. Good to see you so soon. Please, she will move in. She'll move in on the seat, so she's giving him a place to sit.
He will sit. And he will look at Vincent. Hello? I believe we have met before.
Haven't met, sorry?
He said, I believe we have met. You know, like you were received for like 50 years.
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, so he's in 100 years, so they probably see each other in the leagues a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Ah, yes, Mr. Nygaard. Absolute pleasure to see you again.
Feelings mutual.
He will shake your hand with both hands very enthusiastically and eagerly.
It was. He smiles to him. Covers everything.
Oh, absolutely wonderful. We've weathered this brief recession quite well. Business is once again moving forward as usual.
Good to know. The city is having a lot of new people. It's quite good.
Indeed. I look forward to meeting many of them in the nights to come.
Me too. I already met with this beautiful Ventru elder, Laura. She is a really beautiful lady, and I believe that, she will be an asset to the city.
You hear a slight, a sound like. You won't hear anything. She'll just oh, thank you, and just nod to Lauren, and just smile, and it seems to sit back and just take the compliment.
Yes. Mr. Nygaard, how are you doing yourself? How have you been?
I am quite fine. My family members are trying their best. They all serve the queen. He kind of smiles.
Yes, but there is not a moment when the good queen is not at her best, is there?
I believe she will be. I think she's hosting an Elysium. Pardon, says she is hosting a gathering really soon.
Yes, so I've heard down the grapevine. I shall be in attendance. I hope yourself and Miss Solholm shall also
He nods.
attend.
So it will be my first real official gathering of the queen. I'm really excited.
Probably at that point, that kind of long, slight figure just kind of graces in through the door, kind of dressed in like a mixture of like 60s bohemian, just really long, flowing blonde, brown hair. He just has this smirk on his face as he spies the group, glides over.
Well, I mean, I can't really read your aura that well.
Oh, he has deceptive aura anyway, but Laura wouldn't. As he just gives a cold smirk. Quite a little gathering we have here, wouldn't you say?
Huh.
Sorry if I don't mean if I to intrude.
Gareth, please join us. Please sit down.
A pleasure as always.
The Lord kind of looks at the man and extends a hand. Lorne Nygaard. I presume that you are. See, what's your character's name, Torna?
Garnet?
And he says, I presume you're Garnell.
Yes, it is. The grip is very snake-like as he just squeezes it a bit. A pleasure to finally make introductions, my dear. As he just gives a smile.
You know, Is he new to the city also, or
He's been here for 10 years.
Huh. I believe I also see you a couple times in the gatherings, but we never met face to face.
I've been around and about and, being a good little boy, but no, I don't believe we have. But, well, we can safely say that that's past this point now, so once again, a pleasure, as he gives a very dazzling smile.
Yeah, it's the Lauren, watches everyone. He is not a chap that talks a lot.
Vincent will turn to Garnet and just say, I do not believe I have had the honor, Mr. Garnet. Vincent Hardcastle, absolutely charmed.
With an outfit such as that, Mr. Hardcastle, I can hardly imagine why. As Garnet just glides his hand into yours with a very warm smile, and with such... I'm amazed we haven't made introductions yet.
Unfortunately, my business and work keeps me most busy, but I'm glad we have been able to set some time aside for each other.
Most excellent, my darling. Most of us devil's plans are idle playthings, so it's good that you keep busy. Instead of arrogance about him, he sort of slinks back in the chair.
Vincent is has his hands steepled, as if he is constantly planning something, as if he's constantly looking for something in a way, as if he's in a constant state of analysis. As he sits down, just kind of lean back a little bit, makes himself comfortable. So my
little kitten, what is the word around the street? Sorry. So my little kitten, what is the word around the grapevine?
Does he call Vincent a kitten, or is that referring to Laura?
He just kind of does a general kind of kittens in every, he just kind of just says it, doesn't even care if you're offended, he just says it anyway, just with a very arrogant smile.
You see Lauren's eyebrows kind of raised.
Well, obviously nothing then, if you are all steeped in such foreboding silence.
Oh, I'm not sure if you heard, although it's rather common information, common currency, shall we say, that there is a Elysium to be held in the coming nights.
Yes, I believe I've heard of that. I remember the Queen does love her parties and grandeur, so it'll be most joyous event.
Oh, indeed. It shall be delightful to see her again. It's so uncommon for her to make an appearance nowadays.
Is there anything we should know? Well, I should know, I suppose, since this is my first. I suppose that all of the traditions and humanities of the prince would be in place, but is there something that Her Majesty has declared as a extra thing?
The Majesty does not like the Anarch talk. She has all the traditions, and as a proper queen, she just doesn't enjoy any Sabbat, Anarch talk, or Anarchs, and the Infernalists. This, the public knowledge that's known about her.
Well,
No.
I do not. The same as any prince in the Camelot, I would say.
I lose some jobs, a lot of them.
You can see that Laura that just raises an eyebrow at this guy.
Yeah, Garner kind of like eyebrow kind of slowly raising. What was that again, my dear boy?
Lose some jobs and thugs. Not worth.
Now that is a phrase I have not heard in a long time, Mr. Hardcastle.
Well, they're not really worthy of the effort of the negativity. Best just to deal with them if they were to show up and be done with it.
Why does the Cameral allow us to have Anarchs anyway? The Lord kind of smiles. They're bugs to be crushed under the heels of the Camarilla.
Perhaps the slow way, the slow grinding process. Maybe Selena, our queen, wants to remind them of how she can crush them at a whim, but that's true power, I think. The anticipation of it all. Maybe. Or who knows?
Who knows?
Oh, it would not surprise me if this were in fact an artistic display, slowly reaching a climax as these hateful beings, rebellious children that they are, reach their peak and are suddenly brought crashing down in a mighty crescendo. It would be most pleasing to the eye, I must admit.
Wow. Nobody knows how to make things look beautiful like a Toreador. As he steals a very, very small smile at no guard.
He smiles. He enjoys the compliment. Even death.
Especially death. Almost wickedly.
What do you do as business, Mr. Garnet?
Oh.
I would like to know that if there's anything I need, I would go to the right person in the city. So I'm asking these questions to everybody.
Well, what I mainly do is I breed horses, my dear. I breed horses of varying quality. And also the occasional medical facility, to keep an eye on a few things for my own interest.
Ah. Are you interested in the, Lauren kind of smiles and says, the hospitals?
It's one of my areas I might scope my ever-longing gaze at.
It's quite nice.
You see, you can tell a lot from people when you breed horses. You can tell a lot about their need for control. It's quite fascinating to watch, really. And who is the rider, as it were.
I mean, They're prey animals. He kind of smiles.
I wasn't talking about the horses, my dear. Kind of just smiles wickedly.
He smirks back. You get the feeling that he wasn't also talking about the horses.
Kind of just smiles and, yeah, and just this nod. And he just kind of smirks over to Hardcastle. And what is it you do? You do, my dapper gentleman, Mr. Hardcastle.
Vincent for a moment looks as if he was literally waiting for someone to call him dapper before answering. I'll just say, oh, myself, I guess you could call me a scientist and an entrepreneur, an engineer, as it were.
An engineer? Do tell.
I'm in the industry of automation.
Ah, the automobile, I'm assuming.
Oh no, just automation in general. How the recent industrial complex has been slowly adapting itself towards more unmanned means of production. That has been for the past 150 or so years. Well, 250 if we're to be fussy.
Yes, the industrialization of everything has brought quite the boom, I would imagine.
Yes. My enterprise and career has been in creating such devices for the benefit of these developing businesses.
So you are the middleman, as it were, would I be right in assuming? Or
Indeed. We
Garnet
provide
just
them with
smiles.
the means to engage in manufacturing raw materials for their own products. Our product, of course, being that which allows them to manufacture in the first place. As such, we can never really go out of business.
Sound strategy. Always work and always need. A true capitalist of the modern era. You are, Mr. Hardcastle.
You flatter me, good sir.
I do try. Garnet just has that arrogant smile on him again.
Well, Miss Solholm, I don't believe, if you would please forgive me and satiate my curiosity, what perhaps is your favoured profession? Oh, hello, Laura?
Dusty looks at Lauren.
I thought you said Lauren. Sorry. She just, well, had quite a few things to tend to over the years, but I myself is also somewhat invested, shall we say, in the medicinal field. But this is more pharmaceuticals than hospitals. Drug manufacturing.
Ah, interesting. I'm a chemist in my off time. Or engage in acts of chemistry. A scientist, if you were, a different kind of doctor.
Well, I'm quite sure that to introduce you to a few friends who would have a field day discussing with you. Quite a few of them are quite infatuated with their craft. Chemistry, that is. But I don't.
Sorry.
I am not. Do not want to give the wrong impression. I'm not that much of a scientist myself. I am merely a facilitator of the sciences. I value the products that they give and value the effort that goes into their quite failed and expensive work they have to do. And I believe it to be a sound investment.
Oh, but of course, facilities need funding.
Exactly.
Research needs investors.
Quite true. She just smiles and she just sits there and she's more or less just watching those of you, or the three guys talking, and she just. I'm sorry. Would any of you like a refreshment?
Depends on the kind, my dear. Garrett clicks his fingers, just rhythmically.
She will just gesture to. She'll just gesture to his to her servant who will come over. He has like a bag, like a cooler bag, but it's tucked in a it's fairly not conspicuous. He pulls up a couple of coffee mugs, such as this one here, coffee mug like this, and sets three of them on the table. Slides one over to Laura and just gives one to Garnet.
Lauren touches his heart. Thank you, Uncle.
Does the Tremier say yes to a drink, or does he not?
Oh, absolutely delightful. My sincerest thanks, Miss Solholm.
You will get a drink, the both of you, and it is human blood. She also sips from her drink, and just a smile comes over her face. She just like sits back and relaxes a bit as she drinks. She just. I do like to keep some sense of good hosting and good manners. A little pick me up for people is a good way to be civil. She smiles, all and just raises up her glass and just drinks from it again.
Yes, indeed. And for the sake of happy fun times, man, what can you tell me about this blood? How does it taste? Who is it? What's their gender? How old were they? Tell me who this person was.
See, that's a good question. It will probably, I mean, it's probably a guy in his 30s. Maybe a woman, maybe a guy. I'm not sure. But it's what, like his age, what else did you want?
Let me have a look at what this bag can actually do, just so I don't do anything totally rule breaking. Let's see. Yeah, stuff like age, gender. God, with the amount of successes I got, I could probably figure out the fucking DNA sample, the family bloody line.
You have discovered a massive line through this generation of this person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fairly standard, like it's. Then again, you probably wouldn't say, but it's a guy in his 30s probably, and he's maybe had a bad luck as of late. It doesn't taste as good as like someone who is like in the 1%, but it's not bad, but it's fairly like again common blood. I don't know how you would want to say
Figuring out
that.
this guy as well through the taste of his blood. I love it.
No, but you could taste like if it's like someone
yeah,
who has fed well for the last 10 years, and that's probably not the case.
So, what have I eaten?
Never who.
I'm gonna say steak.
It's probably some like it's fairly decent food. The last thing they ate, if that's it.
Okay, this is like a 3-star restaurant to maybe 2.5 stars. We're gonna be if we're taste testing this blood. You can't think
It's
so,
probably
so.
lower. It's probably lower.
Oh man, 2
And
stars.
then again, I'm not sure.
Oh, but Vincent puts this information away for later. It's not vintage. That's a shame. But it doesn't pick me up. That was most charitably given to him by the new Miss Solholm. Nonetheless, he will file and index this information away. As you can kind of tell, he almost does seem to, as he sips. Mm.
You seem to enjoy that blood.
It's most splendid.
Mr. Garnett, you said that you were a man who is looking after pardon. Oh, see, I'm sorry. He says you are a person who is looking after the best horses that we can find in London.
Yes, my darling. Why do you ask?
I might be interested in
Are you-
buying.
Buying? Well. Do you like a thoroughbred stallion, or you're more of a mare?
Is it possible for me to arrive and look to and see the horses with my own eyes?
Oh, of course, you may come to my stables anytime you desire. Myself or Miss Richards.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
Leg.
leg. You just say, of course, you can come through, and I'll show you horses. You know, much fancier than I would say that.
I will contact with the Harpy to reach you whenever I decided to arrive.
Or I'll be eagerly anticipating your arrival.
Thank you. I might have a couple friends in the high society that might be interested in the horses as a gift. One of my friends has a small daughter that might be again interested in a pony. Kind of smiles again.
Garnet will smile very charmingly. Well, we shall get her the most finest pony.
I'm sorry, gentlemen and my lady. I have other business to do this evening. So I
Please
will
do
bid
not.
you a fine evening.
Thank you. Likewise. Please, if you have other business, do not let us keep you. And she will just bid him farewell, get up, curtsy, and bid him farewell properly, and like a bit overly polite, a little bit old-fashioned as well.
And he will nod at everybody and say bye. So, see you guys later.
Good evening, Mr. Vanguard.
So, you are of Clan Tremere, I understand.
You never said that.
But it's not publicly known? That's just some
It's just
people
these
are
two
publicly
haven't met,
known.
so I was assuming you did not know him.
Okay, some people have fame and stuff, but and just all right. So she will just pardon me for asking. Quite understand if you would not wish to divulge such information, but I know Garnet's clan. But what is your family association in the city?
Oh, I am. I am of the Tremere, my good lady. What of yourself?
I'm a clan venturer myself. It's always good to see one of the warlocks. It's been some time. There was two, I believe, in York, but they were very standoffish. I think I saw them once when I was there. So it's been quite some time since I've had conversation with one.
Well, it has been my pleasure to have this conversation with you, Miss Solholm. It is a shame my brethren in other cities did not give you the welcome you were due, but I'm sure they had their reasons.
Please. They had many things to look out for. It was just a shame that their duties took them away from social life. But I do not wish to imply that they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing and not doing their clan proud.
That is good to hear. We do tend to be experts of the unfamiliar, and that does tend to keep us quite busy. I hope you don't take offense if we are not always...
But it also makes you some of the most interesting to talk to. And she gives you a somewhat genuine smile as she says that. But alas, people must suffer for their arts, professions, depending on the person, I suppose.
Yes. Well, I suppose it would be rude of me to ask you, so I suppose I should ask the good gentleman himself. Mr. Garnet, what lineage would you hail from? If you would still indulge me.
Janet smiles dazzlingly. We're here and there, but still around. Janet just gives another bright smile.
Did he say he's a mirror here and there?
Yep. Broken, but still round.
I see. Well, I must say...
Figure out how to riddle my darling Hardcastle.
Interesting. I've had many productive philosophical discussion with your clan.
Well, that is good to hear. We are quite the philosophical bunch, us mirrors.
Yes. It's a shame some of the younger bourgeois do not follow in their clan's footsteps. Also, I've had many interesting discussion with them as well on And they do not lose their temper, that is, but that is their burden. It is understandable.
The Bruja have their rage, the Gangrel have their ferocity, and the Toreador have their art. Each clan has a thing unique to each of them. It's all to be celebrated and, well, depending on your view, persecuted.
Vincent looks fairly pleased with that statement for some reason. It's not immediately clear why. As he says, well, my good sir and lady, as much as I would love to stay and continue our conversations, unfortunately do have duty that calls me, I'm afraid.
I must leave also. You know, being busy and all that, but to both, Mr. Hardcastle, especially with your dapper outfit. I should see a top hat on that one day. Kind of just smirks at him, and he bows to Laura and kisses her hand. Always a pleasure to see a Ventrue in her business. He winks.
Thank you. You flatter me both. Please, have a very pleasant evening for both of you. And,
Likewise.
And she will just nod to them. And as they leave, she will begin to, well, she'll continue reading her paper. And unless there's anything else, the scene will come to a close.
You are struck in the back by a bounding blade. No.
Thank you very much for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.